Once you start to be comfortable, then maybe you'd like to close the eyes. But if that doesn't feel safe or comfortable today, that's absolutely fine. You can always just keep a soft gaze out in front of you. Wherever you are, starting to take some deeper breaths, just really arriving in this moment, in your space, and in this space together. Starting to mark the transition from all that has happened in the day up to now. And seeing if you can hold your mind right here without letting it jump forward to what might happen right after practice. Starting first to ground our awareness in the physical body. Starting to become aware of the support below you, anything behind you, the feeling of the air on your skin, noticing the boundary between where you end and the air begins. Starting to feel the spine stacking tall over the pelvis. Gently releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Slight tuck of the chin, lengthening out through the crown of the head. So the whole back of the body is awake and alert, but without strain. Starting to take an inventory of the physical body now. Noticing if there are areas that already feel open, light, spacious. Or maybe areas that feel a little less so. Just moving with a kind eye, doing your best not to judge any part that you find. Maybe now identifying some areas in which you might be holding tension that you don't need. Maybe between your eyebrows, the cheeks or the jaw, the neck or the shoulders, maybe the belly, even the hands and the feet. Just sending a couple extra breaths into the places that need it the most. And starting now to bring your awareness into your emotional body, your mood this evening. How are you feeling? Knowing that there's all sorts of things that could come up in response to that. So just moving gently with yourself here, knowing that there are no good or bad emotions. It just is what there is. So just checking in. And coming into awareness of the speed and activity of your mind. Maybe it's still on overdrive from work or the day, jumping quickly from thing to thing. And maybe you've had some space between the day and practice. It's moving a little more slowly, and maybe somewhere in between. And seeing if you can start to track the thoughts as they enter. Allow them to linger for a moment and then send them on their way. And starting to become aware of your breath, noticing the rhythm, the depth, the cadence, the temperature, noticing the quality of the breath. Does it feel smooth and full, or maybe a bit choppy, fast or slow? Does it make a sound as it enters or as it exits? Starting to track the path of the breath within the body. Where does it want to enter first and most easily? And then where does it get a little bit stuck? Where does it feel harder to send it? As we prepare to sit a little more deeply this evening, I'll invite a seed for our practice. And that is the idea that all flourishing is mutual and that liberation is contagious. Liberation is contagious. And that was a quote that stuck with me of a dear friend active in the social and racial justice spaces who led a workshop. And that line just hooked me right in. It led us to thinking about how when we bring awareness to our own life, we give space for others to do the same. And then we begin to do the work together. And this work is ongoing, it's non-linear. We might have to come back to that same moment of awareness again and again until we know what to do with it. And that's okay. So now, in these last few moments together, I invite you to bring to mind an image of a new growth plant. It might be the bud of a flower, or a leaf starting to unfurl, or something shooting up out of the ground. Picture whatever feels resonant for you. And on your inhale, drawing strength from your own awareness deep within. And on that exhale, imagine that plant can now open. Maybe the petals open, the leaf unfurls. And we'll stay with a few quiet rounds of breath in a moment. Each inhale, tapping into that awareness potential. Each exhale, allowing that plant to unfurl. As we reap the rewards of that cyclical, ongoing process, liberation, that unfurling is contagious. I'll leave us here in silence for a few rounds of breath. And taking 3 more smooth breaths. As we gently prepare to come back and transition into the movement portion of the practice, inviting your awareness back into the physical body, starting to re-inhabit all your limbs, becoming aware of the tips of your toes, all the way out to the tips of the fingers, all the way out to the crown of the head. And as you feel ready, if the eyes were closed, you can gently blink them open. And if you had a soft gaze, you can just bring it back to the screen. Great. Feeling willing to stay with your video as you like, on or off is fine. And as we start to move together here, we'll just wake up gently, taking some soft shoulder rolls up and back. We're just getting started, so these don't have to be your biggest movement here. Just keeping the breath smooth and steady. Yes. And then as that feels good, starting to make the circles a bit wider now, as if you could draw with your elbows, bringing part of the upper arm into play, feeling the shoulder blades start to activate. And then once that feels comfortable, expanding to the full arm, right? We reaching through the fingers, keeping the arms up and back. Again, keeping the pace and the rhythm up to you. It's starting to work out all the cobwebs in the shoulder joints, really feeling the shoulder blades starting to make their own path now. We'll take one more full round, and then we'll end with the arms in the air in this nice big V shape here. And then on your next inhale, you'll pull the arms down into a cactus shape. So the elbows are pretty wide and the arms are parallel to the earth. Right. And then on the inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades together, elbows now coming down towards the floor. And then on the exhale, swing the arms together. Maybe forearms touch in front of the body, maybe not, that's okay. I'll do that twice more. Inhale to open through the collarbone, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then exhale, hands pressed together. You'll feel the shoulder blades begin to wrap around the body. And one more time, inhaling, big breath here. And then exhaling, gentle rounding and wrapping of the shoulder blades. And then the next inhale, we'll reach both arms back up to the sky, coming back to that V shape. And then on the exhale, starting to turn the torso towards the right, coming into a gentle twist, left hand finding your right knee and right hand finding the mat behind you. Again, we're just starting, so this doesn't have to be your biggest opening yet. Keeping the breath smooth and sweet here. One more full breath. And then we'll inhale through center to change, bringing both arms up towards the sky. And then exhaling over to the left hand finding the mat behind you, right hand finding your left knee. Again, just easing in here. Smooth, steady breath rhythm, just waking up the upper back and spine. One more big breath. And then inhaling back up through center, arms reach. And this time on the exhale, we'll just knit the fingers together and bring the hands down towards the sternum. And then we'll start to trace some figure eights with the knuckles. So warming up through the wrists and the forearms, taking it smooth and steady, welcoming any sound effects that come through. And then gently scramble your brain and go the other way, the way that feels less familiar. This is really nice for any of us who type a lot. And getting us ready for some support on our hands, which we'll need later. Great, so then once you feel ready, shaking out the hands, and then we'll gently start to make a, so if you're sitting on something, you can gently move it to the side, and we'll come into that hands and knees position here. And as always, you're welcome to pad your knees a little bit if that feels better. You can roll up the mat or use a towel. But we'll just take the first 5 or 8 breaths here on the mat, for your exploration. So moving in any way that would feel good to you. Maybe you'd like to take some spine waves, cat and cow. Maybe you just want to wag your tail back and forth. Maybe getting into the shoulder blades by bending the elbows one at a time. Anything that feels like it's calling to you. As always, as we move through the practice today, I will give lots of options. If none of the options sound great to you, you can feel free to do your own thing. That is totally okay. Change things as you need to fit your own body. We'll take 1 or 2 more rounds to play here. Starting to find some stillness in the shape. And now checking to see that the hands are just slightly ahead of the shoulders, but that the knees are right underneath the hips. And then taking care with your hands themselves. So taking a moment, you're pressing down through the fingers, but there's a little almost gripping action at the fingertips so that the middle of the palms is active. So the hands are not completely pressed flat to the mat. You're grounding down through the knuckles, but that middle part of the hand is a little bit lifted. I had a teacher who once called it a little puff of air in the middle of the palm. Just like we have arches in the feet, we also have arches in the hand. So we want to make sure that those are strong and active. So once you feel ready here, then on your next inhale, we'll extend that left leg long behind you. Holding steady here for a breath, just noticing what that shift has done to the hands, what that shift has done to the belly, making sure we can recalibrate here. Long line, yes, y'all, nice. And then we'll start to move that left leg independent of the spine. So keeping the spine neutral. On your exhale, you'll pull the knee underneath the body and then out to the left and then reaching back behind you. So you're almost creating a circle. We'll do that twice more. We'll inhale to reach the leg long and then exhale that knee under the body, out to the left and then back long behind you. One last time. Inhale to reach. Exhale the knee under the body, out to the left, and then back along behind you. Yes, yeah, you got it. Holding steady breath. One more moment here. This time on the exhale, you'll connect your left toes to the back of the mat. So that leg is staying long, but the toes are grounded. Then you'll begin to shift onto the bottom of that left foot, toes facing the long edge of the mat. Then on your inhale, starting to shift the weight more to the right hand so that you can reach your left arm up towards the sky, coming into your gate pose here. Breathing smooth and steady, pulling the shoulder blades together. That same little puff of air underneath that right palm on the ground. One more smooth, steady breath. Yes. And then looking down, gently exhale that left hand and the left knee back to the mat. And then we'll take the second side. So we'll inhale that right leg long behind you, as we did on the other side, taking a moment to arrive here. Checking to see that the weight is fairly even between the hands. A little press into the mat to widen the shoulder blades. And then we'll take those circles with the right leg. So we'll inhale to reach. And then exhale to tuck just the right knee under the body and then moving it out to the right and then re-extending it long behind you. The spine stays neutral. Inhale to reach. Exhale that right knee underneath you, out to the right and then long behind. One last time. Inhale to reach. Exhale to create the circle under the body, out to the right, and then back long behind you. Yes, holding here for a breath. And then on your exhale, connecting the right toes to the back of the mat. And then connecting that whole sole of the right foot, toes facing the long edge of the mat. Inhale to shift the weight into the left hand. Peel the right arm up towards the sky, coming into your gate pose on the second side. Yeah, really nice, y'all. Breathing shoulder blades together, getting broad through the collarbones. One more breath. And then exhale to look down. Replace your right hand to the mat and then lower the right knee to the mat as well. From here, we'll inhale back to the left side, left leg reaching long behind you. And then this time on the exhale, stepping the left foot to the outside of the left hand. That left foot can be pretty wide, particularly if there's a reason why you might need some more space underneath you, that left foot can be pretty wide. Just keeping the toes facing the short edge of the mat in front. Then on your inhale, getting lighter on the fingertips so that you can inhale both arms up to the sky, coming into your low lunge. Again, feeling free to pad that down knee if you need to. Yeah, beautiful, y'all. And then from here, we'll exhale the arms parallel to the earth. So they're stretching right out in front of you. And then on the inhale, making a fist with the left hand, pulling back the elbow as you draw the shoulder blade towards the body, turning the chest to the left, and then exhaling to unfurl that arm behind you. So you're in a T shape here. So a nice big open twisting motion here. One more inhale in this shape, and then we'll exhale to sweep that left arm back towards the front. Yeah, and we'll try that twice more. It's a bow and arrow. So you'll inhale to pull back the string of the bow with your left hand. Turn to the left, exhale that arm behind you. Hold for the inhale. And then exhale, sweep that left arm forward. Last time, great, y'all. Inhale to pull back your bow, really engage that left shoulder blade. Exhale to unfurl. Hold for the inhale. This time on the exhale, we'll start to tip towards a twist. So your right hand will come really wide on the right edge of the mat. Left fingers start to reach up towards the sky. If that feels like too much or there's not enough space below you, you can feel free to stay up and just work that T shape. That's fine. Yeah, it looks great. Okay, from here, since we're all in this shape, we're going to start to take some circles with that left arm. So you'll inhale to reach the arm back towards the back of the mat, roll down towards the bottom of the floor, exhale that arm forward and then back up to the sky. We'll take twice more using your own breath rhythm to complete your circle. Smooth and steady, just clearing out any remaining cobwebs in the shoulder. And then once you've completed your 3, you'll rest with that arm reaching up towards the sky. And then we're going to come back into our gate pose. So there's 2 options. You can move directly from here, from this twist. So you'll start to lighten up on that left foot. Start to make a circle with the left toes as you circle that foot all the way back to the back of the mat. Once you're there, really ground through that left foot to give you an anchor. If you looked at that and said, oh no, no thanks, you can stay from here, put both hands down on the mat, then move your leg back and then unfurl that arm. Either option is totally fine, but we'll all end up here in this gate pose. And then for this variation, on your next exhale, you'll start to sweep that left arm towards the front of the mat. So coming more into a side bend shape here, pushing that right hand into the mat, still being mindful of that little puff of air at your palm. One more breath, like you're creating a rainbow with your spine. Okay, here we go. On the inhale, reaching that left arm back up towards the sky. Then starting to come a little bit lighter through the right fingers. Powerfully ground down through that left foot. And then see if on the inhale, you can bring yourself up so that you're facing the long edge of the mat, arms in a T. Yes, yeah, you can do it. Yes. Go, Susie, go. You got it. Yes. All right. And then from here, you'll drop the left hand towards your left leg. Reach that right arm towards your left side. So coming into the opposite version of the side bend now. So now you're trying to rainbow out your right side, keeping the breath smooth and steady. One more round. And then gently come back through your center into that T shape. And then with control, one hand, then the other hand finds the mat and allow your. We'll take the second side. So we'll inhale that right leg long behind you. Strong, steady reach to begin. And then exhale to step that right foot to the outside of the right hand. Again, you can take it as wide as you need. So really give yourself space underneath. Those right toes will face the short edge of the mat. On your inhale, lighten up on the fingers and then sweep both arms up to the sky, coming into your low lunge. Yes. There we go. Very nice. And then from here, exhaling both hands so that they're parallel to the mat. And then we'll take those bow and arrows, but on this side. So on the inhale, drawing back your bow with the right hand, bending the elbow, engaging the shoulder blade, turning the chest to the right. Exhale to unfurl that arm behind you, holding for the inhale here. And then exhale to sweep that right arm back forward. Great, twice more like that. Inhale to pull back your bow, engage the shoulder blade. Exhale, unfurl the arm behind you. Hold for the inhale. Exhale to sweep that right arm back forward. Last time with the twist. So we'll inhale to pull back the bow. Exhale to unfurl the arm. Hold for the inhale. And then once again on the exhale, look down. Left hand now finding wide side of the mat. Right arm reaching up towards the sky. Really nice, y'all. Beautiful. And then we'll take those same 3 sweeping circles with the right arm, starting towards the back of the mat, down towards the floor, the front of the room, and the ceiling. Taking twice more with your own breath rhythm, seeing if you can make it as fluid as you can. All those little places in between. And then holding with those left fingers at the ceiling. And then here we go, both your options. If you're going for it, from here, shift the weight into that left hand, get a little lighter on the right toes, and then create that semicircle as you bring your right foot to the back of the mat. Once it's there, really ground through that foot so that you have a strong anchor. Or your other option is to put both hands down first and then move the leg. Wherever you are, once we've all hit this pose, very nice. And you'll exhale that right arm overhead, coming into that rainbow shape, side bending. There's a lot of lift from below. So even though we're stretching the right side, that support is coming from up underneath on the left. Yes, one more breath here. And then inhale those right fingers straight back up to the sky. Here we go. Really ground into that right foot. Get a little lighter through those left fingers. And then see if you can float your way back up, coming into that T shape with the arms. Really nice, y'all. You got this. Yes. Great. And then allow that right arm to gently find the right leg. And then we'll inhale those left fingers overhead. Starting to come into that curved shape on the left now. Really grounding down through the outer edge of that right foot. Breathing smooth and steady. One more round. Good. Of course. And then gently exhaling, look down with control. One hand, then the other hand finds the mat, and then your right knee finds the mat as well. Okay, really nice. From here, walking both hands a little bit ahead of the shoulders, creating that gripping feeling with your fingertips, creating a kickstand with your toes, and then inhale to prepare, and then exhale to lift your knees just 1 inch off the mat. So you're coming into this hovering tabletop position here. Breathing smooth and steady into those abdominals, really creating that lift through the hands so that the shoulders are active. One more breath. And then on the next exhale, bending the hips high to the sky, coming into your downward facing dog. This is the first down dog of the practice, so really take a few moments to make it your own. If for some reason down dog is not feeling good, you can always take puppy pose. You'll come back down to the knees and then walk out the hands, either stopping on the forearms if you need more space below you, or you can come all the way down to the forehead. Otherwise, you're in your down dog. Very nice. We have a down dog assist going on there. That looks great. Good. Holding steady, a few more rounds of breath wherever you are. And then from here, we'll ripple forward to plank pose. So we'll come high up on the toes on the inhale, curling in through the low belly, taking it nice and slow, vertebra by vertebra, almost as if you were coming up and over something, ending up in your high plank. If that feels like too much, you can feel free to put the knees down and be here in your half plank. That's fine. Wherever you are, holding for 2 more steady breaths. Really active hands, active belly. 1 more breath. And then gently allowing the right knee to find the earth. And then turning those left toes out to face the left. So we're coming back into the gate pose, but a little differently this time. We're going to swim that left arm towards the back of the mat. And then all the way over towards the front on the exhale. Then we'll plant the left hand, coming back to hands and knees. And then fluid motion, inhaling that right foot back, planting those right toes. Inhaling the right arm from the back of the mat, all the way forward to the front. 1 more time, exhaling through hands and knees, starting to smooth it out. Inhaling, left foot back, left arm swims from the back of the mat towards the front. Plant the hand to change on the exhale through hands and knees. Last time, inhaling that right foot back, right arm reaching from the back of the mat all the way up to the front, and then landing on the exhale, hands and knees. Okay, here we go. Walking the hands again ahead of the shoulders, gripping the mat with the fingertips, creating the kickstand with your toes. Inhale to prepare. And this time on the exhale, lifting the hips all the way up right into your downward facing dog. Just a brief stop this time. We'll look forward, bend the knees, and then take a little walk to the top of the mat. Your knees can stay as bent as you need when you arrive to give you good purchase through the feet. Once you feel comfortable in the feet, then we'll start to swim the arms out and around as you come to standing. Exhaling, hands to your heart. Beautiful, y'all, yes. From here, on the inhale, taking a big step to the back of the mat with your right foot. Coming into high lunge legs. The left leg is bent in the front, the right leg strong and straight behind you. Taking as much space between your feet as you need to feel steady and stable. Once you feel steady in the feet, then we'll inhale both arms up to the sky, coming into your full high lunge. Yes, y'all. Then as we did before, we'll exhale both arms down parallel to the ground. And then we'll take those bow and arrows, this time with that back leg lifted. Of course, at any time, if it feels like too much, you can feel free to come back down into the low lunge. That's fine. But we'll start together here on the inhale, pulling back your bow with the left hand, turning the torso towards the left. Unfurl that arm behind you on the exhale. Hold for the inhale. And then sweep that left arm back on the exhale. You may find that the balance is a little different here. And then we'll take that twice more. Inhaling to pull, unfurl the arm on the exhale. Hold for the inhale. And then sweep that back last time. Inhaling to pull back the bow. Unfurl your chest. Stay for the inhale. This time on the exhale, we're coming into that twist. This time maybe with that back leg lifted. So you'll come down nice and slow, looking down at the floor, and then planting that right hand really wide, giving yourself plenty of space. You might even walk that left foot wider if you need. Left arm reaching up towards the ceiling. Always the option to drop that back knee back to the ground, or to skip the twist entirely and stay in the T shape, which all look good here. Breathing smooth and steady. One more moment here. Really working that little puff of air at that bottom hand. And then gently start to bring the weight back into the legs. Start to shift the weight onto the fingertips of the right hand. So that as you inhale, you'll start to slowly come up the way you went in so that you end up back in your little T shape facing the long edge of the mat. Yes. You can stay right here or on the inhale, flip the right palm to face the ceiling. Start to sweep that arm overhead, coming into a reverse shape here. Left hand is now going to find your right thigh or somewhere on that leg. It doesn't have to be your thigh. Holding steady, smooth breath. One more round if you're in this little reverse shape. And then on the exhale, unfurl back into the T shape first. Hold for the inhale, and then sweep that left arm forward on the exhale. Yes. We'll take one last inhale to reach both arms up to the sky. Full high lunge for a breath. And then exhaling, hands to your heart. Hinging forward over that left hip so that you can step your right foot to the top of the mat. There we go. Oh, good little jump, Susie. And then we'll swam the arms out and around on the inhale. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And we'll take that whole thing on the second side. So this time on the inhale, we'll take a big step back with your left foot so that you're in those high lunge legs again. This time with the right leg in the front and the left leg strong and straight behind you. Again, making adjustments as you need, separating the feet as wide apart as you feel comfortable. And then once you feel steady in the feet, inhaling both arms up to the sky. Big reach for your full high lunge, yes. Then on the exhale, allowing the arms to become parallel to the earth. And then here we go, on the inhale, pulling back the string of your bow with your right hand, turning the chest to the right. Exhale to unfurl that arm behind you. Hold for the inhale. And then on the exhale, sweep that left arm back in front, reaching forward. Twice more. Inhaling to pull that right arm back. Engage the shoulder blade as you turn the chest. Exhale to unfurl. Hold for the inhale. And then exhale to sweep that right arm forward. Last time we'll stay. Pulling back the bow on the inhale. Turning the chest. Exhaling as you unfurl. Hold for the inhale. And then here we go. You could stay here or starting to look down towards the ground, planting that left hand really wide, bringing the right arm towards the sky. Again, maybe even widening that front foot if you need a little bit more space, and or dropping the left knee to the ground. All options on the menu. We're holding smooth and steady breath. Yes, y'all, really nice. Shoulder blades working hard here. Little puff of air underneath that left palm. One more breath. And then regrounding through the legs and the feet. Come up first onto the tented fingertips of your left hand. And then on the inhale, gather up the strength. Slow and steady, coming back into that T shape. Pause here. Yes. Then you can stay right here or turn the left palm up to face the ceiling. And then inhale to reach that left arm up and overhead. Right hand now finding somewhere on your left leg to land. Maybe the thigh, maybe somewhere else. Smooth, steady breath. Long reach with those left fingers. One more round of breath. And then exhaling into that T shape first. Hold for the inhale. And then sweep that right arm back in front on the exhale. One last big inhale in your full high lunge. Reach to the sky. You got it. Yes. Then exhale, hands to your heart. Hinge forward over that right leg so that you can step your left foot to the top of the mat. Okay, here we go. Inhaling the arms out and around. Exhaling, hands to your heart, and this time we'll keep going. Hinging at the hips, bringing the hands towards the earth. You'll get good firm purchase with your hands on the earth, and then you'll just bring one knee down And then the other knee down, coming back to your hands and knees here. And then your option, I'm going to demo 2 ways. The first will be what we had done previously, where you'll take your left leg back, plant the left foot, swim that left arm from the back of the mat over top, and changing through your hands and knees. Or I'll show you first and then we'll try together. You could decide to come through high plank. That would look like this. You'll be up in your high plank, and then you'll shift both heels towards the right. Left arm still comes from the back of the mat towards the front. You'll shift through full high plank as you go to the other side. So we'll take your option. So either choosing to come through your hands and knees or choosing to come through your full high plank. Going on your own breath. If you are traveling through your hands and knees, that's the exhale. If you're on your high plank, exhale is through your middle plank. Either way, you're sweeping the arm from the back of the mat to the front. Seeing if you can take 2 full rounds, whichever version you've chosen, making sure that your sides are even. 1 more round. Good, Susie. Beautiful. Yes. Yes, Teresa, that's it. Yeah, really bright through that arm. Lovely. Good. Or you can rest also. That is fine too. Good. Good. Once you feel that your sides are even, coming to a halt on your hands and knees for just a moment. Just get collected here. We just have 1 more standing piece to go. So we'll grip the mat with the fingertips. Create that kickstand with your toes. Inhale to prepare. And then exhale, pushing yourself all the way back up to your downward facing dog. Just a brief stop on the inhale, looking forward, bending the knees, and then taking that walk to the top of the mat. Getting firm purchase through your feet so that then you can inhale your arms out and around up towards the sky, and then exhale them to your heart. Okay, last piece. This time we'll start with the left leg stepping back on the inhale. So you're coming back into those high lunge legs, right leg in the front, left leg strong and straight in the back. Once you feel steady in the feet, inhaling both arms up to the sky, full high lunge. This time on the exhale, you'll open out into your warrior 2. So you're in this side lunge position here. Your right knee is right over that right ankle, right toes facing the short edge of the mat. Left foot is at a little bit of an angle. So those toes are facing slightly forward. And there's a lot of weight through that back outer edge of the foot, really keeping you stable and grounded through that back leg. Hips are at a little bit of a diagonal bias here. Breathing smooth and steady. 1 more full round. And then inhale to flip the right palm to face the ceiling. And then once again on the inhale, sweeping back. This time that left hand can find somewhere to land on the left leg, or it can wrap behind the body. You might feel ready for that now. If not, no big deal. Breathing smooth and deep through that whole right side. 1 or 2 more full rounds of breath. And then exhale, bending your right arm, resting the right forearm on the right thigh, and bringing that left arm overhead, coming into your side angle pose here. Again, taking care to seal up through that back outer edge of the left foot, and taking some weight out of the right shoulder so that we're not collapsing down through the neck. Yes, beautiful adjustment, y'all. Yeah. 1 more smooth breath here. And then inhaling back up to your warrior 2. And then we're going to float between those 2 positions, and we'll take 1 breath each to do it. You can decide to plant your arms, or you can let them be a little bit spontaneous. We'll see what happens. So on your inhale, flipping the right palm up, taking it back into your reverse. Exhaling back to your warrior 2. Inhaling to change, coming towards your side angle pose. Inhaling back, warrior 2. One more round. Inhale to sweep it back, reverse. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling towards your side angle. Exhaling back, holding in your warrior two. One more smooth, steady breath here. Then allow the hands to find the hips, straighten that front leg, toe heel the feet close enough together so that you can then step your way to the top of the mat. Yes. One arm circle to clear it. We'll take the arms out and around on the inhale. And then exhale, hands to your heart. And then we'll move to the second side. So this time stepping back with your right foot, a big step back towards the back of the mat. So you're in your high lunge legs, left leg in the front, right leg in the back. Then you'll inhale your arms up, coming into your full high lunge. Yes. And then on the exhale, opening out into your warrior two. This first round will marinate a little bit here, checking your position. Left knee right over the left ankle, toes pointing straight ahead. Back toes at that little bit of an angle. Lots of weight now through the right outer edge of the foot, and hips at that little bit of a bias. Yes, good, extra bend there. Breathing smooth and steady. One more breath. Looking great. And then turn the palm up to face the sky, and then inhale that left arm back, coming into your reverse. Again, choosing your hand position. Maybe it's on your right leg, maybe it's behind the body. Seeing if by putting more weight through that right outer edge of the foot, maybe that frees you up to bend your left knee one more inch, maybe. Beautiful. Smooth, steady breath, one more round. And then inhale your way back through your warrior two. And then this time on your exhale, left forearm finding left thigh, right fingers reaching overhead, coming into your side angle on the second side. Yes. Once again, checking that there's lots of space between the bottom of the ear and the top of that left shoulder. Good. One more smooth breath. And then inhaling back to your warrior two. And then we'll take 2 rounds of that dancing warrior. So on the inhale, sweeping that left arm back into your reverse. Exhaling back to your warrior two. Inhaling towards your side angle, spontaneous arms are fine. Yes. Exhaling back, warrior two. One more time. Inhaling, opening up reverse. Exhaling, warrior two. Inhaling towards that side angle one last time. And then exhaling out, warrior two. Hold for a breath here. Then gently allow the hands to find your hips, straighten that front leg, and then toe heel the feet together enough that you can once again step your way to the top of the mat. This is it, home stretch, y'all. You're sweeping the arms out and around on the inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart, and then keep going down towards the mat, planting the hands, coming down one knee at a time. This time, kicking the toes together and keeping the knees wide, starting to walk yourself back towards your child's pose. If you need more space, you could always just come down onto the elbows so that the belly is staying lifted. Maybe even propping up on the elbows so that you have a place for your head to land, or using a block to place your head, or you could just choose to sit quietly without coming down. Any of those are on the menu. Keeping your breath smooth and steady. Allowing the mind to slow down a little bit. Noticing that as we move fluidly through that practice, we move through a lot of circles and side bending to echo the fact that that search for awareness is non-linear and ongoing. But the more we're able to search for it in ourselves, the more we give those around us space and permission to do so for themselves. 1 or 2 more breaths here in your rest. And gently pulling your way back to your hands and knees. And then kicking your feet to one side and your hips to the other so that you can come and sit down. And then we'll bring the legs in front in a butterfly shape. Their soles of the feet are together, the knees are out wide. If when you do that, you find that the spine really wants to cave back like this and it's hard to get you up on the sitting bones, feel free to sit up on something, a blanket or a block. You can even also physically move the flesh of the buttocks away a little bit. Sometimes that's helpful. Once you feel like you have firm purchase on the sitting bones, then you'll inhale the spine tall. And then on the exhale, you'll hinge forward at your hip creases. So you're aiming to bring the chest towards the feet. That's not going to happen, but that's the direction that you're aiming for so that the spine is really long. Now, once you feel like you're out of room in the spine, now you can allow the head and the neck to start to relax. So there is a little curving that happens here, but it's distributed through the whole spine instead of only from one place in the low spine. Keeping the breath smooth and steady here. And if it doesn't feel good to come so far down, you can of course stay higher. You're still going to get just as many benefits through the legs here. Even if the torso is lifted, that's totally fine. Maybe allowing the head to fall a little. And gently using your inhale to inflate and come all the way back to sitting. Then using your hands to help the sides of your knees, pushing them together, and then extending your legs down the mat. You can shake them out a little bit. And we are heading down towards our back. If being on your back is not great right now, you can always take a roll and come onto your side. If you're coming onto your side, you might also like a block or something in between your legs so that your one hip is not falling forward. Yeah. And then if you are coming to your back, you'll extend both legs out in front, move the arms out parallel to the earth as we had before. And then you have a couple options. You can roll back using one vertebra at a time, connecting to the belly. If that feels like a lot, you can always bend your knees. If that feels like a lot or you just don't want to, you can always just come down any way you like. If you're on your back, we'll take one last stretch here. Inhaling the arms overhead, long stretch through the body, fingers and toes. If you're on your side, focus on sending the breath into your rib cage, particularly that top part of the ribs, allowing for some expansion there. One more breath if you're in this laid out position. So exhale the hands alongside you, and then allowing the feet to find the mat once more. And if you're on your back, you'll spread your feet pretty wide, allowing the knees to come from side to side, making a few windshield wipers. And if you're on your side, you can stay cozy as you are, or maybe bringing one arm overhead and allowing that rainbow effect to happen through the rib cage here. Just if you like for 1 or 2 breaths. And gently returning the arm if it was lifted, and if you're in your rocks, coming to a halt. And then one last piece, if you're on your back, so draw the knees in towards the chest, maybe wrapping the arms around the shins. If that feels like a lot, you can always hug beneath your hamstrings, under the knees. And then maybe there's a little rocking that wants to happen, and circles around the low spine. If you are circling, just make sure you go both directions at some point. And gently allowing the feet to find the earth. And then everyone now moving into that final rest. So if you're on your back, choosing whether you'd like to keep the knees bent. If you do, take the feet wide and touch the knees together so that there's no effort to hold your legs up, or you can extend the legs long. And finding someplace comfortable for the arms to land. Something that allows the head of the arm bone to rest softly on the floor. Taking any last movements or wiggles that you need, and then settling in. Shavasana is the synthesis of the practice. So we'll give ourselves a few moments of quiet rest here, letting go of any conscious control over the breath or the body, just allowing it to rest. I'll allow the sound of my voice to fade away for a few moments, and then I'll call you back. If you are happy and cozy where you are and you'd like to stay, please stay. But if you're ready to come out, we'll start by making some small movements at your fingers and your toes, gradually making those movements larger, closer to your center. If you're on your back, at some point, you'll make your way onto your side and pause there. Just give a moment for all your systems to catch up with your new position. And as you're ready, we'll all make our way back up to the comfortable seat. Maybe still with the eyes closed or just a soft gaze. Something that allows the attention to remain internal for a few more moments here. Finding some place comfortable for your hands to land, maybe in the lap, maybe folded at your chest, maybe one hand on your heart, the other on top, or something else, you choose. But just knowing that we can always come back to this place of looking for awareness, for shining the light on the internal, so that we then can show up better externally. And that liberation is indeed. I'm just going to hit the recording off and then I'll come say goodbye.